This presentation gives a brief overview of the Apex 2.0 graphical user interface. This is the Apex 2.0 login screen. Notice that even before you log into Apex, you can click Help and get a separate browser window that comes up with information about Apex and its features. You pick the system you want to go to from the drop-down of configured systems, and then enter the same user ID that you would enter if you were going into a demand session on the system, and the same password. After you've logged in, you can see up in the corner that the Apex display shows your user ID, the system you're logged into, and a lock icon indicating that you're connected securely. A task pane is in the middle. Down at the bottom, there's a footer, and on the left is the navigation pane that lets you choose the tasks you want to perform. One of those tasks can be to edit a user, so let's bring up a user here. We're going to look at the information that is in the user security record. When you do this, you'll see that some information is grayed out. That's information that can't be changed. So for example, here we have an information icon that tells us that the system defaults are a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 180 for password changes. If we wanted to change those, then we deselect this item, and now we can change them. Let's suppose we wanted the person to hang on to his new password for at least 7 days and then be forced to change it after 60 days. So we can enter that and save it. Oop. And there's an error on the page as indicated by this error icon here. So that was a typo, and we can fix that. And now we can go ahead and save that information. Here's another tab within the user record. This one shows the interfaces the user is allowed to use. And you can see that up in the corner, there's a question mark icon, and you can click on that in order to bring up help on this specific topic. Now let's take a look at one of the reports. We'll look at the passwords report, and to give us a little more room, we'll collapse the menu tree. We see from the summary that this was previously run with passwords due to expire in 90 days. Now let's change the settings and rerun the report. We're going to change it so that it tells us about user IDs whose passwords are due to expire in 30 days. We'll go up to the Run button and notice that it tells you when the report started, and it will give you status as it's going through the security file and processing the different records. When it's done, the summary tells you the number of expired users and gives you the summaries of the other categories. These are also shown in the tabs at the top. Let's take a look at the expired users for an example. Each of these columns can be sorted. If I click on user ID, instead of sorting ascending, it sorts descending. Same thing with authentication type, and same thing with expired. If there's too much to go onto one screen, as there is in this case, then the information is divided up into a series of screens that you can go through one at a time, or you can specify a particular part in the report that you would like to go to and select that. Now we'll go back to the users. Notice that we can re-expand the menu tree, and when we go to a particular topic like users, Apex has kept track of where we were. Notice that there are a certain set of tabs at the top. We get a large number of tabs because we're running on a system that has security level 1 or greater. If we log out and then log into a system that has fundamental security, you'll see that the number of tabs is fewer because fundamental security has fewer controls. In this case, I have the same user ID on two different systems, but they're configured differently. This system is a fundamental security system, and also the user we're logged in as has no administrative privileges, so the list of reports and other things that are available to him is pretty minimal. If I select users and bring up the user dialog here, since my administrative role is none, I don't get to choose anybody else to look at. I can look at my own information, but I can't change any of it. Notice that the tabs here only include Access, Security, Session Console, and Information, not the full set that were available when I was on a security level 1 or higher system. This time we're going to log in as a sub-administrator instead of someone who has no administrative privilege. We'll see that the set of tasks that the sub-administrator can do is much greater than the set of tasks that an ordinary non-administrative user can do. Let's try to display a user record. And I'll show you what happens if you simply transmit in the selection box. It gives you a list of users to pick from, and in this case, a sub, the user we're logged in as, is the owner of 2 others, so it can only pick from itself and the 2 that it owns. We'll go ahead and pick a sub and open that. Now let's see also what happens when we try to run a report as a sub-administrator. We'll go ahead and run the passwords report here. And we've actually previously run this, and what we see is that even though there are quite a few users whose passwords were due to expire in 30 days, only 3 are shown, and they're the 3 that this sub-administrator can see. So we do protect access to information about ones that the logged in Apex user should not see. As you've seen in this brief overview, Apex uses modern graphical user interface controls and conventions. What's visible and what you are allowed to view and change depends on the security level of the system you're connected to and the administrative role of the user who is using Apex. Thank you.